In this video, I will demonstrate how to exploit a vulnerability in Remote Desktop that allows for remote code execution. This vulnerability is caused when the Remote Desktop protocol processes a sequence of specially crafted packets, resulting in the access of an object in memory that has not been properly initialized or has been deleted. If RDP is enabled on the affected system, an authenticated remote attacker could leverage this vulnerability to cause the system to execute arbitrary code by sending a sequence of specially crafted packets, RDP packets. Operating systems affected by this vulnerability include Windows 7, Windows Server, some of the different versions of server. To exploit this vulnerability, I will be using a virtual machine running Kali Linux, and I will use Metasploit, which is one of the most used penetration testing frameworks. On the other hand, the target machine, it's a Windows 7 machine, 32-bit, that has not been patched against the vulnerability. Now I will open up Metasploit framework on the Kali Linux machine. Next, I'm going to search for the vulnerability code, MS12. And I will copy the specific code that we will be using to run this particular exploit. We'll use the selected code. We'll find the options needed to run this code. We gotta select the target. So we'll set host, then the IP address of the target, which is this one. Okay, the target's been set to the Windows 7 machine. And next we'll run the exploit. Since this machine has not been patched with the security update, we should see some sort of disruption to the system. So let's run the exploit. And there it is, the famous blue screen of death. We've just done a successful denial of service attack on this Windows machine, on this vulnerable machine. Going back to the Kali Linux machine, we can see that the target system is down and that the execution completed. Now, I'm going to proceed to install the security update that should fix this vulnerability. We'll restart the computer and we'll proceed once it comes up to run the exploit one more time. Microsoft has released that particular security update that I just installed. It's rated critical for all supported releases of Microsoft Windows. The security, the security update addresses the vulnerabilities by modifying the way that remote desktop protocol processes packets in memory and the way the RDP system processes packets. We'll make sure that the IP address is the same as what we used earlier, which was the same 10.02.15, which is what it was set earlier. So now that the security patch or security update was installed, we should not see the blue screen of death anymore. Come back to the Linux, Kali Linux, and run the exploit. Okay, there we see the difference. The RDP service was unreachable. All that I did was just apply the security update, and that caused the vulnerability not to be exploited anymore.